Orina atamari tato katoa Rakaunui today. It's our marama. I need to position myself a bit better. Hini hotirine, talking to you about Maramataka Maori. In my studio this morning, I'm just showing off about this. I don't know if that's actually the scene we're going to constantly set every week, but just showing off at all the Maramataka that we have produced over the last 15 years. Awesome, such good mahi. So if you haven't ordered your maramataka, you need to whānau for this year. It's the time to move now as spring is fast approaching to initiate and do all the work that needs to happen from the planning stage of winter. So today, our moon is Rakaunui, reinventing yourself as a constant. Reinventing yourself as a constant. The outlook for this whole week is indeed that kōrero. So Rakaunui, Rakau mātohi tomorrow, and then the energy will start to come down a little bit towards the end of the week. It's a massive difference compared to 7 days ago in terms of how much light is present. So we're even getting up earlier, more energy, more light. Get moving. Whānau, who voted on the weekend or prior in the elections? Congrats for Tamaki Makoto. I'm like, what's this in my pocket? What is it? A joint. Random. Haven't been smoking that much, giving my lungs a little bit of a break, using Maramataka in terms of health and healing. Also trying to get out of that program that I have of using weed to just try and elevate some of my stress, learning to sit in the stress and not just smoking because I can smoke if I want to, wherever I want, because I have a prescription and I'm legit. So actually using it for rongoa for medicine. So a little bit off track there. Rakaunui, reinventing yourself as a constant. Orini, she's an example of reinventing herself, constantly elevating, moving. Her background in media, even being the representative, the advisor for the Olympics, and our Aotearoa team, e Wahine Tino Humari, coming from a kura kaupapa Māori background, kapahaka, just it's on. But really disappointed in the voting turnout. And we as Māori, we need to vote. And this whole constant rhetoric that I experience with my cousins, I'm not voting because we don't support the system. Well, that parliamentary system has got the pūtea. And if we want some of those resources in pūtea, yes, we're guaranteed it under Te Tiriti o Waitangi, but we need to vote. It makes me angry when you don't vote. And we need to practice it more. That system is that democratic system that it doesn't benefit us, but we still have to be present and do as much as we can to wrestle the power back in our court. And we can't just ignore the battle and put a blanket over our head. But isn't it worthy to put the people that are good at that mahi in those spaces to do the work on our behalf, and we have to vote. And we should have all voted. 35,000 didn't vote. Now we should have gone 20,000 for Penny and 21,000 for Orini, and given a good solid demonstration of our mobilization and our ability to do what we need to do to get ourselves some of the resources of this country through the governments. Yeah, so my whānau who always debate about why they don't vote. Oh, we support whakaputanga in 1835 trading agreement. And I'm like, yeah, well, what do you got to trade, cuzzies? What do you got to trade? So coming out of Koroneihana and the statement from Ngāwai I Hono i te Pō was around supporting Māori economic development and Māori economy. And I want that to happen. And I want us to acknowledge that that is just not about the iwi estate, the iwi affairs through the pūtea they hold, But people like myself, small business owners, and people like you all who are doing what we need to do to make it better for our families. And that's Māori economy, is trading, sharing, koha, but we have to have something to trade with. Time, energy, space, food, shelter, warmth, the very basics. People talking about Māori supermarkets. I'm like, that's at the end of the chain, having a supermarket. I know up north, if there's a storm and the Brenduans wash out, the Big Maunga wash out, and there's only 2-3 ways into Te Tai Tukiro, if we're not counting by way of the sea, well, there's no trucks getting up here, and within 3 days, there's no food on the supermarket shelves. So what are we doing? If we're talking about Māori economy, Māori ways of doing business, using tikanga as the basics of it. I've been to a Māori business recently, beautiful kaupapa, beautiful resource to use, but they're really gatekeeping. The people on the door haven't been trained enough on how to acknowledge, like, just because you're using have a business, you don't have to act like a ball head. Demonstrate amanakitanga. Oh, kia ora whānau, welcome. Don't be like starting to think like you're a little person given a big job and now you're going to be mean about it. Maintaining our Māori ways within business and recognizing that there's a lot more going on than just the iwi estate. So we've got the Māori Housing Conference coming up here next month in Te Tai Tukiro. I haven't heard a thing. Not a thing. And, you know, I've been involved in housing for a number of years, and our big kaupapa is, they say, the Māori Land Court. My bro yesterday, he said this. I'm going to exactly quote it. Ronnie Hack, he said, Māori Land Court. And that was his expression, and I was right on. And this whole thing, Māori Land Court's set up so we can't use our land. The processes are so hard. And that's just one way of identifying Māori ownership. But there's so many other stories that determines our right, our mana over our land outside of the Māori Land Court. So, yeah, I tautoko what Ronnie has to say. And in terms of the ahikoa and the people living on our land, and just our whakaaro and how we can share our knowledge with others wanting to empower themselves, because that's Māori economy. How are we going to gain tino rangatiratanga, provide our own food, shelter, warmth, use what we've got already. Our number one resource is our people. And after that is all of our assets in this country of Aotearoa, the resources that the average people all benefit of us, and we need to benefit as well through voting. Yeah, so I haven't heard a thing about the Māori housing for hui up here, and I just hope that it's not a whole lot of bureaucrats talking about how they could get some money off the government. Well, there is no money. There's no money. So where do we fit the experts at understanding how to make something out of nothing? That's us, the home people. And we're getting a little bit stingy. We really are. The home people, the ahika, for a long time, we're like, yeah, give. Everyone wants this. Yes, gotta be for the tangi. Yes. Does anyone going to come and help us do the fencing? Got this, cuz? Yes. Can you fix the road? Yes. You know, the home people, we're actually starting to get a bit like, cuz, what are you doing? Where's the exchange? It's not, the cousins have got it. When I go home, everything will be sweet. Nah, what did you do to keep it sweet? So reinventing yourself, whānau. Think about, I found out where I come from. Oh, I found out I've got some land. And you turn up with your tent and you're going to set up shop. Don't work like that. Does not work like that. Māori land? No. So there's a lot of stories and there's a lot of kōrero that can be shared. Let's put up some of your comments this morning that can be shared amongst ourselves on how to make our lives really a lot more enjoyable, not such a struggle. But a lot of these stories aren't getting out because who's got the microphone? Who holds the microphone holds the power. He who tells their own story. So I go to these meetings, and I just sit around and I'm like, oh God, round and round and round and round we go. Who's problem solving? Where's all the experts and innovative thinkers? And where's the people that are actually doing something? Not the people that are saying they're doing something. And, also that's the problem we get hoa with many of our whānau that are working in government jobs. We're there to represent us, say certain things, and then they just become indoctrinated. It gets too hard for them. So we need to really analyze all of this. We need to sit down and actually do some solid problem solving. Always. Okay, so a no vote. Hold on, here's Marama Kahu. Marama knows. A no vote means you want to keep Luxton in. A no vote means he mangere koe. You're lazy and you're just going to keep it in your head and go, I've got my own mana, yet I still like sleeping in my car. I'm not being critical, because I know that is a terrible situation for us. We need to get out of this predicament that we're in, that we are having homelessness, that people are sleeping in their cars. And when you're in that point, you can't help yourself. It's so frustrating. You're exhausted. So we need advocacy as well. So that's enough, everyone, of my big lecture for you this morning. Father's Day was yesterday. Well, yeah, fathers really count. I had an absent father. He chose the life of having a good time over looking after his children and being responsible. And, a lot of the issues in society we have, especially with our men not having positive male role models, is because of absent dads. So, yes. Reinvent ourselves. If you're a bad dad, be a good dad. If you're a bad mum, be a good mum. If you're absent parent, show up. Reinvent yourself. So, morena kia tātou, I've got a rahui on my kids at the moment, because every time they come over, they're fighting, they're being naughty, they're not my big kids, they're not respecting the rules of the house. And I'm like, you know what? You just need to just chill. You're grounded, but grounded as in that side, until you understand that there's rules here. So that's really hard for me as a mum as well, the constant grind of setting boundaries. So that's reinventing ourselves even within our relationships. It's a new spring. It's time to do the work that you have planned for. Wednesday, I get my results from the oncologist that will determine a lot of where I'm going in the next few months. So I'll keep you updated on that. The health tip for today is when you're taking, like I'm off to vitamin C after the gym, and when I've learned that when I take vitamin C, I can't take antioxidants because it will cancel out the vitamin C. So I can't take curcumin, berberine, anything that is green tea, all of those antioxidants. I've just got to let that main remedy, that main rongoa of vitamin C sit in me for a while. So really think about that when you're taking supplements, that you're lining them up at the right time, so they're not cancelling each other out. Katarina Williams, took me 3 years and I still haven't finished. Keep bugging them. It seems to work for me though. I'm not sure what that was on, Katarina, anything of the number of kaupapa I've been bouncing on. But yeah, reinventing yourselves. It's a big difference between us. You look at yourself 3 years ago, Katarina, and how different you are. Oh, land succession. Fred Leaf, 2 years later, Māori Land Court haven't finalised a simple land succession. No. Can you even register with them? Even if you turn up, is someone going to come out and see you? That's just so fraudulent. Get rid of it. And right down to when I asked Caesar Mary Downs if she would represent me because I had an injunction put on against me. And I had to go to court when I was building. I said to my builders, don't stop, keep going. So they haven't served me a stop work notice. And I said to Susan, oh, can you represent me as my lawyer? And she says, can't stand the Māori Land Court. We've decided as a legal form that we can't. It's frustrating. They can't do anything, so they won't participate. They won't. She's like, sorry, I can't help you. I said, that's all right. I get it. I understand, because it's frustrating. So I represented myself, and then I said to her, I said, hey, this is how I did it. So in the end, Judge Mahuru Armstrong dropped the case. My whānau tried to stop me building my whare, but they couldn't. They couldn't. Because why? I had done my homework, and their lawyer got told off for even taking it to court by Judge Armstrong. And I said, I looked at my whānau, I thought, that $2,000 that you spent on your lawyer, you could have spent it on helping to do the road up. No, te kaha hoki o te pū hai o te whānau. I say, where does this all go back to? Poor intellect, whānau, poor intellect. And that's what I've had enough of, is listening to people talk that are dumb. I had enough. I'm like, don't talk unless you know what you're talking about. And get rid of keep your emotions in your pūkoro. Keep them in your pocket. When you're having a hui, and I feel like this, and I think this. I'm like, so far, your 10 minutes, 15 minutes of crying is your healing that you need to do in your own time. And I'm aroha for you, but we're going to adjourn the meeting and come back next week. There's no next week. It's usually 6 months later, like the Māori Land Court. We really have to get ourselves into a better space in how we just conduct ourselves. And so that's my big, I'm just going to stop now. Okay, Raylene Hutchison, build the hapu from the hapu, build infrastructure, build on Māori tikanga, learn history, and break trauma and shame. Yes, because I love my fire that is crying at the marae. I love her for her, and I want to listen to her crying outside of the hui and support her outside of the hui, that when we're talking about what's going to happen with Transrail coming in and trying to reclaim the railway line. Meet before, strategize, have a kōrero, problem solve, problem solve, problem solve, problem solve. Think innovative, get a plan, problem solve some more. Everyone's on cue. Who's going to talk? Yes, yes, yes. What's the wata? Are we going to feed them? No, because they're not our friends. And we'll talk about our emotions after the hui. Start up health retreats instead of prisons. Absolutely, get rid of the prisons. We don't need prisons at all. Okay, that's another kōrero. So, taku mihi kia koutou katoa. That's me. Today, tomorrow, reinvent yourself. Do what you need to do for the work that needs to get done as we're moving into spring. Take it down a notch. Order your maramataka. I'll update you through the week with what's happening with me and my oncologist. And I'm still available for bookings. My best friend's moved home. Yay! Kieran Jones. So you'll get to see her a bit more as well. We're going to do more stuff online. I want her to be more involved. She does all the background stuff. She's my pimp. She's who you talk to when you're booking me, because she's nice. I'm not that nice sometimes. You hear me? I start getting all impatient. And last week, I really enjoyed the wānanga I participated in last week with the New Zealand Defence Force online and Women's Refuge online. And what a great bunch of people, and absolutely enjoyed sharing stories that suit them and what they need to hear to benefit them. And that's what I do. I come out, I talk to you, I find out what problems are going on, I give some suggestions, I help bring that kōrero to the surface. And then we plan and we have a good laugh, and everything suits the audience. If I'm talking to the mihingare at the local church hui, well, it suits their kōrero. If I'm talking to the social services, well, it suits their kōrero. So that's something that I've realized I'm actually good at. I'm able to transform, reinvent, and adapt according to my audience. Why? Because I really want to give you something that makes me feel good is when I empower you all. So do something with that today. All my kōrero this morning on this Rakaunui morning. Let's see what some of your own, your comments are just coming up there. Ko mātoku ingoa atamari a Maramataka Queenie manoa nui. Thank you, Ma. Who else is out there? Penny Graham gave a love hearts. Ramon Martine, I think is that all of us. I think. So what's the quote for today? It's not just Rakaunui, reinventing yourself as a constant, but Maori land court. I just laughed when my bro said that. I said, ko ia tera. That's exactly. Fuck off, Maori land court. And then, we all need good. Oh, okay. Raylene Hutchinson, we all need good friends. Solid intelligence helps to move forward. Yeah, I don't want to talk shit. I don't. Oh, yeah, and Raylene said that comment before. Okay, I'm out of here. Got to get the kid to school. If anyone knows anything about the Māori housing hui in the north, let me know. I know nothing about it. And I'm like, I hope it's not like when people turn up to the marae and they like hire marae. We don't get it at our marae in Mototo. But like when the police force book the marae because they're going to have a cultural experience and they bring their own liaison officer to teach them about the cultural experience at someone else's marae that they've booked, but they haven't even invited the home people to come along and talk and host them. That does happen. One time, my Uncle Joe Shortland, he was living next door at the Kaumatua Flats at Mototo, and there were all these cars up at the marae. And so he goes up to see who's there, and he opened up the door, and my cousin Raywin was hosting these manuhiri from, I think they were from overseas, but she wasn't in the whare, or I think her father was in the whare. But Uncle Joe opened up the door, and he looked around, and he goes, "Who the fuck are all you cunts?" And my uncle was, who forgot to tell Joe? Who forgot to tell him? Because at our marae, it's only us that goes there. Yeah, and if other people are coming, they come with us. And so my uncle's like, who the fuck are all these people? I don't know them. And and it's no good if we can hire the marae out to the police force, but we can't hire the marae out to our own whānau at Christmas to come home to. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. Kati ake, I konei. There was a lot there, but I want to know what's happening with the Māori housing hui, and I don't want it to be a whole lot to summarise that. Who's organising it, and is it people from outside the rohe in the housing national co-op or whatever's going on coming up here and talking about what's going on down in Wellington, and where's us, the home people. Mauri ora kia tātou.